Hello, good morning, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Right now it is Saturday, 8:30 a.m. and we have another furniture flip video coming at you, so stay tuned. In this video, it is the last part of my series where I flip furniture for free for people in my community. And so last night, a mom dropped off a dining room table at my house. I don't have a garage, and so I just have to keep it outside, so I wrapped it up in this tarp, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. As you can see, the top of the table has been worn out. The finish has become kind of sticky, and in certain places the finish is not even existent. You can tell where the color is a little bit lighter, and so the mom was saying they don't even use this dining room table because of the state it's in. As you can see, the table legs are in pretty good condition, and this whole piece is solid wood. I start out with cleaning the entire set using TSP. It's just a really good furniture degreaser, and it's really important to clean your furniture before you paint it so that the paint has something to adhere to instead of the grease and dust, whatever's on it. Guys, I got a new toy. So for a long time now, I wanted a new sander, and so I decided that this project would be a good one to go out and grab one. It's a Mastercraft belt sander, and so we'll see how it helps me out in this project. So this is my new toy. I'm so excited. This puppy hopefully should be able to strip off the finish of this table with ease. Mastercraft. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's try it out. I start using the belt sander on the top of the table to try to strip off the finish, and it did such a good job. If I were to do this using paint stripper, it would have taken me probably 3 times as long. This is where I just sanded off, and this is what I was trying to take off, and it's getting down to the raw wood. It's so exciting. I then used my mouse detail sander just to get some of the tough, hard to reach spots that the belt sander couldn't reach. So now I'm ready to start sanding the top, and so for today I'm going to be using a new product, General Finishes Gel Stain. And so just to mix it up, so I use my classic boba straw, and it is a very thick consistency. So when I first started applying this, I applied it with a sponge paintbrush, and then I kind of spread it out using an old sock. However, this product is very thick and a lot thicker than other stains I've used, and so this first application kind of turned out a little bit blotchy, and I wasn't sure why, but I will get to the proper way to actually apply this product a little later on in the video. So the General Finishes Gel Stain, I've never used a gel stain before, and when I put it on, it was getting really splotchy. And then I watched a YouTube video, and I realized I screwed up and I don't like how it looks right now. It's super blotchy and like not really what I wanted. So I think what I'm gonna do is wait for it to dry, sand it off and start over. But I'm going to try, in the meantime while this dries, I'm gonna go to the table leaves and try to apply the proper technique onto the table leaves, because that's a smaller area and I feel like if I could do it on there, I can do it on this big tabletop. So anyways, wish me luck. So what you're supposed to do is put on a little bit of mineral spirits on your surface, rub it around, and then apply the gel stain, and it helps the gel stain application to be a lot smoother and less blotchy. And it actually worked really, really well for these table leaves. Overall, I was a lot happier with how this style of application turned out. It kind of made the wood look like weathered barnwood, and I really thought that was a really cool look for this kind of rustic table I'm going for. So because I was able to get the hang of the application with the mineral spirits, I was more confident in doing the application of the stain on the rest of the tabletop without being scared that it will just look super blotchy. And here, this is my roommate's hand. He's giving me some help, just helping me apply the alcohol while I kind of spread everything around. Okay guys, so we salvaged this table. So my friend Mickey here. So as you saw in like a previous shot, this side seemed super blotchy, and I was really like kind of stressed and worried because the stain came out a lot thicker and it was kind of hard to spread it. And so Mickey thought of the idea of why don't we put mineral spirits on top of it and spread it and like kind of fade the brush marks out. And so that's what we did, and then we finished staining the rest of the table, and look, it is so pretty. I really like how kind of the brown is popping out of the gray, and it kind of looks like weathered barn wood, you know what I mean? It is super pretty. Thank you, Mickey, for saving us! So now I start to prep the table to paint the edges white. So I just lay down my frog tape just to make sure I get some crisp edges. So for the paint, I will be using the color Simplicity from Country Chic Paint. It is a chalk paint, and I've never used this color from them before, but I really liked how bright white this was, if that makes any sense. It just was super pigmented, and I really liked working with this paint. So this is what it looks like after 2 coats of the paint color Simplicity from Country Chic Paint. And I think this is gonna look really good with the contrast, and if I have time I might distress it a little bit to give it that shabby chic look. But I am loving this project so far. Not gonna lie guys, I was kind of intimidated that it was a table and I've never done a table before. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. You know? What do you guys think? Next, I took my sandpaper and lightly distressed the edges. Essentially, I just kind of sanded it down so that some of the underlying wood kind of peeks through, and it just looks like kind of a bit more worn and that like farmhouse, well-used look. Next, I used General Finishes Gel Top Coat, and I applied it to the top of the table using a sponge applicator brush. And the instructions say to put on a very thin layer and kind of wipe off the excess. Hey guys, it is 9:25 on a Saturday, and I'm so proud of this project. I'm gonna call it a night for now and come back to it tomorrow, but I just love the way it looks. And I just finished applying my first coat of top coat, and tomorrow I'm gonna come back and put more top coat on it just because it's a table and I want it to be super durable for her family, and finish the legs, and hopefully I can finish that all up by the weekend, because as you all know, I work full-time during the week and I don't really have much time for this. So I'm excited to see how it works tomorrow. So everyone, have a good night, and I will get back to you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. It is the next day, and I woke up early to try to get a head start on this project. So I went and checked on the table, and this morning when I went to go check it, it was actually still a little bit tacky, so it's not fully dried yet. I'm gonna give it some more time before I apply a second coat. I think perhaps I applied too much on the very first layer, so it's gonna take longer to dry, but we'll see how it goes, I guess. So next, I take my white chalk paint in the color Simplicity and just apply it onto the table legs. And I applied about 2 or 3 coats and just made sure to kind of get a good layer on. I also just want to mention that before I started painting, I sanded all the legs down very lightly and wiped off all the dust before I painted, just so the paint has something rough to adhere to. So I finished painting the table legs, and I had to put about 3 coats of paint on it, and I'm just letting them dry, and then I'm going to sand them down and seal them. It was a little bit of a challenge because there was some bleed through, and I didn't prime it, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I should have probably primed it, but we're here now, so we're gonna keep on going with it. And this is all about learning, right? So I'm just kind kind of learning as I go here. After all the paint was dried, I take 220 grit sandpaper and just distress the edges, kind of where it would naturally wear a bit more. I just sanded it down and made sure that some of the underlying wood just was exposed to kind of give it that extra detail and pizzazz. So I'm going to seal these legs using hemp oil. And so I use my really old sponge here and get some product on and just kind of rub it around and kind of rub off all the excess. After I applied the hemp oil, I let it dry overnight, and then in the morning I just rubbed off any excess in any places where it felt tacky. So after I waited for my top coat to dry, I used 220 and then 400 grit sandpaper to just smooth out the top coat very lightly. I sanded it just to make sure that I have a super silky smooth finish. And then once I cleaned up all the dust, I applied another thin layer of top coat onto the top of the table. This is supposed to get a lot of wear and tear because, you know, it's a dining room table, so I really wanted to give it an extra layer of protection. And with that, that completes our table transformation. So in case you don't remember, this is what the table looked like. The finish was wearing off in places. It had a really weird sticky residue. And overall, the table was good, solid quality, but it just needed to be refinished. And this is what it looks like now. What a difference. Now it has a really nice weathered barnwood top with some nice distressed details on the side, and it just gives it all a very rustic vibe to the table. And I just really love how it turned out. For the staging of the reveal, I wasn't actually able to set up the table because the bolts that connect the legs to the table, the lady who dropped off the table kept them, and so I'm just kind of making do by just holding the table legs on their own. But I just love how everything turned out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this trash to treasure transformation. And I really enjoyed learning new skills, learning new products and different tools, and I just really love making this kind of content. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this table. I so much appreciate your support and just watching my video. And with this table, this concludes my little adventure in furniture flipping for free for my neighbors. I don't know about you guys, but I had so much fun discovering a new hobby, and I would like to continue furniture flipping. So if you like that, feel free to like and subscribe. See you next week!